So we are done with the head of our website. Now we need to have the body. So we're going to add the body tag. Then every other thing is going to fall within the body tag. So now we're going to have a div. So we're going to use div to divide or to create divisions in our website. But let me just call this container. So this class is just, these are CSS classes that we're adding as attributes to this particular div. So this is now telling our browser that this container should be fluid, which means if you shrink it, right, then it should be able to adjust to whatever size the browser is. So let's test that using let's have h2 tag, and I'm going to call this drinks depot. Inventory. So let's say we have this. So kill this and start the server again. So we are now here, right? So this is what we have now. Let's come back to our tools. Let's come to console, sources. So if you look at our font, right, the font is a bit different from what we had earlier on. And if you refresh, you're going to see some things happening here, right? Either maybe our browser trying to get that bootstrap from this source. So this is telling you that okay, it's going online and it's pulling down this bootstrap. So you can see all the CSS code that we're pulling from the internet to design our website. So let's come back to VS Code. So we're going to add a class to this. I'm going to say text center. Let me just add an alert. Say alert. Danger. So this will just give us like a red background behind this. So if I come here and I refresh, so you can see what we have here. So within these tools, right, you have this button here, which is toggle device toolbar. So this is going to give you what your application is going to look like on different devices. So because we have this feature here, this container fluid, right, that's why we are having this responsiveness on our website. So you can see as the device shrinks, the idea is you should not get anything that is too small. You can't have devices that are small as this, but even at that, our website is able to try to manage to cater for such small devices. So let me see, we have some other options here. So you can select an iPhone SE to see what it looks like. You can select an iPad mini. This is what our website is going to look like on an iPad mini, a Pixel 5. So you can see that as much as you have different screen sizes, using the container fluid and bootstrap, it's able to maintain a good or a decent user interface on this website. So remember, we added this viewport, right? So this also adds to responsiveness. Then bootstrap itself has some styling to help with that fluidity. So this class container, right, this attribute we're adding comes from bootstrap. So that's why we're able to have our website fluidly respond to different screen sizes. So if you're using different devices to view your website, or whoever, because you can't have a website with only one type of device viewing it. It can be a laptop, it can be it can be a phone, and it can be a tablet. So these are phones. Then we have tablets like the iPad Air, iPad Mini. Then you have things like the Nest Hub, which are also tablets. So you can have this responsiveness as well. So responsiveness just gives you the ability to shrink and see what it looks like, and of course you can rotate the devices. So with that done, I'll just unselect this and come back to our web view. So I'll change this danger to success so that we can have a green background. Then the next thing I need to have is now a new row. Trying to see why this div is here. It's supposed to be a new div. So this div is going to be a row. It's going to be a row. Then I'm going to have a div. I'm just trying to create as much space between our title bar as possible. So for this, I'll just create a class. This will be column. Then I'll have another div. So we have this. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to add a button that says add drinks, right? Or add a drink. So we're going to add a button for that within this row. So we're going to create a button. So just button. You can set the class, or let me leave the class empty for now. And now call this add drink. So let's see what we have now. Come here and I'll refresh. Since I set this to success, we now have green. So those columns are added, is why we have this space here. So we have our very ugly button, right? That doesn't do anything. So now we're going to add some styling to this button. So I'm just going to say class. So this is going to be a button. Then we're going to make this primary. So this is just going to affect the color, and I feel like it should be fine right now. Yes, I feel this should be fine. So we have this add drink button. So for our application, what we are going to use is we're going to use a modal. So a modal is just basically a pop-up window with a form, like a dialog box that you can fill data in. So I'm just going to create this. I'm just going to say data toggle. So this is going to this is not a property of this. I'm going to say data toggle. is going to toggle a modal. So this is going to toggle a modal. Then we can now have data target. So now this target now is going to be what modal are we targeting. So I'm just going to call this new drink modal. So whenever this button is clicked, we want to just trigger that new drink modal. So that's what we are doing here. So we're telling it whenever the button is clicked, we're going to trigger a new drink modal. So now our modal does not exist. So if you try to do that, you're probably going to get a problem in the console. So let's run this, click this, it's HTML to just tell you nothing, it won't complain. But we need the modal for this to actually work. So what we are going to do next is to add our modal.